YouTube, welcome back. I want to talk about today why you're lifting probably too heavy of weights too often and why that's making you weaker. This is specifically in the context of our top end high effort strength stuff for a session. So the ones to fives of big rock movement patterns, squats, benches, all the fun stuff we all like to do to get stronger. During days when we're lifting really heavy, I often see top sets being taken way too heavy, especially with male athletes. Say I have my group squatting for the day. If I have them working up to a set of 5 reps that is hard for a top set, it gets ugly real quick. Learning how to lift a little bit lighter weights for these top sets for me changed my training so much, it's crazy. The strongest I've ever been is when I learned to just strip some weight and make top sets actually look good. This really got beat in my head by Seth Ellsworth. I'm actually wearing the shirt. Shout out Dr. Seth. But I think he said it's a Dave Tate thing where the point of max effort work, which we're not conjugate powerlifting here, but no matter what we're doing, if we're lifting heavy weights, the point of these top sets is to strain. It's not to grind. So what is a strain actually? A strain looks like this. I don't know where it is, but it's heavy. I'm trying in this, but the bar is moving still. It's not an absolute shit grinder where I'm pushing and like maybe breaking down in form. The bar is moving, and you would look at me and maybe be like, man, he has a little bit left in the tank, and I probably do, but that's the point. Grinders are bad. Grinders slow you down. Grinders lower your ability to train well for the rest of the week. Straining is good. Straining makes you stronger, but as soon as it crosses from the strain into that look bad, I'm gonna need to rest for 5 days after, bad things start to happen. There's quite a few reasons why taking a few pounds off the bar is more often than not better. The main one is that it's just way less fatiguing to just do a little bit lighter weight. Less fatigue in almost all cases is better. This lets you train the muscle more often at a higher level. And even though it's a little bit lighter loads, the stimulus for growth is still pretty much the same. Lifting with appropriate loads also lets you practice technique better. It also probably lowers your injury risk if we're not hitting grinders all the time, and it leaves you way more energy to do down sets, to push extra secondary work that's going to move those high effort sets or train other movement patterns that you need to do in the day. This advice applies to all people, but it's probably even more significantly advantageous for you to lift a little bit lighter weights if you're an athlete and not a lifter. If you're training for sport, if you're lifting weights, remember what we're trying to do. We're trying to get as many benefits from training for strength with as little negatives as possible. So lightening up our high effort work that really moves the needle and makes you stronger and hopefully a little bit better at your sport is so much better when you just take some of the weight off the bar, get way less fatigue, and then can go to practice later in the week and not feel terrible because you just max your back squat out on Tuesday during gym class. So how do you get better at this? How do you figure out good load to use for your high effort sets? First of all, it's hard. Give yourself some grace. I think subjectively picking good weight for your sets is arguably one of the hardest things about training. It really is. And that's why there's so many systems and like ways to try to quantify it. If we're talking RIR, RP, whatever, that's messy and that's a whole other video in itself. Progressive linear loading can be sexy. You can get caught up trying to add a few pounds to the bar every week, which we still can and maybe should do that, but that is not the underpinning of how being strong works. Difficulty can be subjective. That's why RP is a thing. Your daily readiness will fluctuate. If you feel like shit, you'll be able to do not as much probably as you otherwise could. If you feel really good, you can maybe do a little more. And I think lifting also removes some of the highs and remove some of the lows from that, or picking good weights rather. So you'd probably be more in the middle. If you're hitting less grinders all the time, you're probably gonna feel just kind of more even all the time, which makes this also easier. It's a positive feedback loop in itself. So just try to do it less. Like it's gonna happen no matter what. I overshoot all the time. Here's a video of me doing it. I don't know where it is, doing it yesterday. I overshot a squat set and I did cardio today and I felt terrible because of it. I get it. Maxing out can be kind of fun, just ripping, gripping, and ripping. There's a time and a place for that for sure, but especially if you have actual goals you're working towards, I think probably just lightening up the bar and just being a little bit smarter and setting up your next training session for success instead of just like going all balls to the wall today, it's probably the better situation in most cases. So practical advice for this. If you are supposed to hit like an 8 or 9 out of 10 difficulty top set, just shoot for a 7 or 8, knowing that you might overshoot. I do that all the time. That's how I do it. It's a pretty good, easy way, especially if you're a chronic overshooter and you know you are, just move the goalposts a little bit. It's a really simple way. And if you're ever in doubt of weight selection and what you should do, just take 10 pounds off. That's the mantra I use with all my high school guys all the time. Most of my job is just telling people to take 10 pounds off the bar. But that is my argument for the day completed. Leave me a like, maybe, if you enjoyed this, if it maybe made you think about if your top sets are maybe a little too hard, and give it a go. Maybe leave me a comment if this feels better for you in a couple weeks, which, spoiler, it will. So thank you for watching today. I'll see you in the next one.